Dr. Karen Surridge kuier vanoggend by ons om oor die solar-strukture wat onlangs langs die N4-snelweg opgerig is te gesels. So good morning and thank you for joining us.
Morning, dankie.
I would like to start with some background regarding SANEDI. What is it all about and what does it entail?
SANEDI is the South African National Energy Development Institute. So you can see us as one of the research arms of the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy. So essentially we work in the energy space. We don't do nuclear, so we do energy efficiency, renewables, energy security and a bit of fossil fuels.
And your role?
I head up the renewable energy program within SANEDI, but I also sort of keep a finger in understanding all the other energy spaces as well.
Do you drive an electric car?
No, I don't, but my brother does.
No, I'm just jealous. I saw your car. I was just a bit jealous, but we don't have to mention that. It was just some professional jealousy.
No, well, what I'm trying to do is use up the fossil fuels faster, so we move to renewables.
That is so
by
clever.
having a large engine capacity.
She really thought this through.
Oh, fantastic.
I did.
Now, these solar structures next to the N4 highway really caused a huge buzz.
Yes.
So just give us some background about that as well.
So essentially what I have to mention, by the way, is they're not, SANEDI wasn't involved in the construction of them, but we collaborate closely with the CSIR Energy Centre. And those structures, when the centre was being established, were actually placed in order to support the energy requirements or the electrical requirements of the CSIR campus. Basically, they're these huge photovoltaic panels, like you would see on your house, but these ones are much bigger. And they follow the sun. So they're sort of like the head of a sunflower. As the sun moves through the sky, they move with it and they track it. Wow. So we call it a PV tracking system, but it basically means big engineered sunflower that catches electricity.
And that's what I said in the beginning of the show. It made me think of a sunflower.
That's exactly it.
Is it new technology in terms, because I mean, it's such there's a lot of money behind solar worldwide, you know, but it's quite unique that it follows the sun. And it's actually, I thought, start like that. Because even on a house, I mean, some time of the day you've got sun, and then in the afternoon you go like shade and it doesn't help you at all. Yeah.
It's not a new technology. The tracking technology is not new as such. Obviously, photovoltaic technology has been around for many decades. But what they're finding, and this is why CSIR's put it up there, you'll see there's two different types there. One of them is a bit shorter, and it's big flat panels that just tilt. You'll see if you go past in the morning, they're all pointing sort of towards the east when the sun comes up, and you'll go past in the afternoon, they're all pointing towards the west when the sun's going down. There's another set of structures that are very, very tall with bigger panels on them, and they actually can turn on what we call multi-axis. They can follow the sun a bit more. They don't just go east-west. So what they're doing is, apart from the benefit of being able to catch the sun's energy and turn it into electricity, the CSIR is using it to see, well, which one is more efficient and how is it going to feed into our grid. And they've been quite successful. About 4% of the electrical requirement of CSIR's Pretoria campus is provided by those panels.
Wow.
It's enough to power 200 middle-income households.
Sure.
It's a nice amount of energy, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry, I just want to find out, was that the main reason behind this initiative?
Yes, so there were two main reasons. It was to demonstrate and show the technology so that the public can also become aware of what it is and how it works, but then also for them to be able to gather scientific data from this, which of course they are doing. It's not the only array they have, it's just the most visible ones. Some of the others are on top of their buildings.
Yeah, so all of them. And it's 1,800, but this word, photovoltaic,
Yes.
did I say it correctly?
Yes.
Is dit korrek gesê? Want ek weet dis iemand van Nieu-Seeland wat gebore in Nieu-Seeland kan Afrikaans verstaan.
Ja, absoluut.
Ja, en ek praat die taal ook.
Sy praat die taal. Soos ons mic.
Fotovoltaïsche panele, ja.
But what is that exactly?
Well, what it does is the sun, we're very lucky in South Africa, we have a great solar resource. So the sun actually gives us two different types of energy. It gives us heat, obviously. If you go stand in the sun in your dark blue blazer, you get warm. But it also gives us light. And the light we can catch and we can use it and turn it into electricity. So you can use the heat directly, but you can also use the light and turn it into electricity. So what these panels do is exactly that. They've got what we call a silicon inside them, and essentially what happens is through some molecular reactions that take place, electricity is generated and we can use it. Yeah.
Are there any other benefits that you can point out?
of having the
Yes, and also why is it important? Because I would, kind of look at it or describe it as a mind shift that needs to take place in terms of moving forward. But why is it so important?
Look, it's important for us to look at alternative energy sources. For a variety of reasons. One of the big ones you're always hearing is climate change. We have to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, CO2 emissions, all of the things that come with burning coal and so forth. That's important, yes, and that is the main sort of driver behind it. But if we think about it, why do we need to move there? We need to have energy as the human race. If we don't have energy, we can't make clean water, we can't drive our economies, we can't even survive. So what happens if we run out of fossil fuels? Because they're finite. We will run out eventually. We have to have another energy source. So we have to start blending in these energy sources while we've still got the fossil fuels, so that we can make sure, firstly, then the fossil fuels can be used responsibly and for a longer time period, but they also will then be able to, by the time we have to phase them out, we'll already know how to use these new technologies and we'll be good at it.
Some practical tips. If I look at Janarie's website, tips to save electricity. First thing I see is use a pressure cooker instead of a stove. Small things, or a microwave that we can do to help ourselves with our accounts.
Yes.
But where the future is heading.
Yes. So essentially those are energy efficiency tips.
Yeah.
So, you have your energy resource, so you have your electricity you buy from Eskom every month, especially if you've got prepaid. So you buy this lump of prepaid. What you really want to do is maximize what you can use that for. So, for example, instead of heating up a pot on the stove and keeping it boiling for 4 hours, you could use a pressure cooker for half an hour with an electrical plug, so you're using a lot less in electricity. Even simple things like just making sure when you wash your hands that you turn the cold water tap on and not the hot water tap. Because as soon as you use the hot water, it comes out of the geyser has to heat up again once the cold water tap daarin.
En ek doen dit altyd. Dit is
Ek ook.
there was this big political thing that we can use private electricity with Eskom, and people want to, get some of this energy into the grid. I know some farms are doing it. I think there are as well. There's massive solar farms.
Yes, yes.
And the Karoo guys, it's so funny, the sheep use the shade as well.
Yes.
It's so clever.
Great.
But where are we standing at the moment with collaboration between private and government? Is it still a struggle? Is it going to get easier?
So it depends on what you're looking at. Those huge solar farms that you're talking about, they are actually what we call independent power producers.
Okay.
So they actually have contracts with Eskom and with government to be able to supply solar power at a given rate into the grid. You at home, if you want to put PV on your roof to give yourself a bit of an electricity boost, that for now you can't sell to the grid. So you can use it yourself, but you cannot let it run back into the grid. As things stand at the moment, yes.
Hopefully it changes.
When taking a look at some of the complexes as well, you can really see that, they are kind of adapting to this new form of lifestyle, being more energy efficient and everything. But, when comparing South Africa to other countries in the world, I think they are far ahead in terms of our country. But do you think we are ready for this?
I absolutely think we're ready for this. Look at the resource that we have available. We have a huge amount of, and you'll see it in the new South African energy plan that was published towards the end of 2019. There's a lot of energy resource allocated to wind and solar. And it's because we have a very good resource of both in the country. And what's nice is they're geographically spread around. We have a lot of sun in the Northern Cape. Well, we have sun across the whole country if you compare us with Europe, but we have a lot in the Northern Cape, but the wind we have all along our coastlines. So we have, and a bit inland, so we have really got a very nice, I want to say, security of supply when it comes to alternative energy sources.
Well, I think that's good news.
Ja, ek gaan
moving
ook my
forward.
foon charge met die son
Ja.
en alles.
Jy sal vir ons kom sê hoe dit vir jou werk. Baie dankie. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
this
you.
morning.
Thanks for
En dit was
having
dan Dr.
Dankie.
Karen Surridge wat met ons kom gesels het oor hierdie spesifieke sonkrag of solar-strukture wat jy dalk nou langs die N4-snelweg waargeneem het.